Friends and learners, welcome to another video lecture on the topic promoting interactivity. Interactivity is one of the very important components in the teaching learning process. It should not be always a one-sided presentation of the subject matter. Rather than the teachers should engage students in the teaching learning process. The teacher should give enough space for interaction. There should be always a continuous dialogue between the teacher and students and among the students also. In the last few video lectures, we had discussed about the concept of interactivity and interactivity in educational communication. Now, in this video lecture, we will see how we can enhance, how we can promote an interactive communication in the classrooms or during the teaching learning activities. We will see some of the factors which can promote interactivity. We will also see how it is done if you are using some technologies. The focus will be on different technologies which we can use for interactivity and what all things we should take care of when we use such technologies for interactivity during the teaching learning activities. So, to start with, I would like to invite your attention to the different types of interaction which happens in a classroom. Broadly three: interaction with the learning materials, number 1, interaction between students and teacher, number 2, third, student-student interaction. We have discussed some of these types of interaction in the previous videos. Interaction with the learning materials. The teaching learning process, one of the most popular or commonly used is the lecture method of teaching. So, the teacher continuously gives lecture to the students and that way the concept or the subject matter is conveyed to the students, is transmitted, delivered. So, we consider teachers as the transformation givers, knowledge givers. So, when the teacher gives, the teacher makes use of many teaching learning aids. One of the common teaching aids is the textbook. So, students also engage with the textbook. They read the textbook. They also take part in the discussions which are happening in the classroom. They also engage with the teaching learning aids. So, there can have different types of interaction which are purely based on the learning materials. If it is the case of open and distance learning, self-learning materials are given to the students. They read the self-learning materials. So, there also an interaction happens. So, it happens in all the modes of education, the conventional, open distance learning, online education, blended education and all. The second is interaction between students and teacher, very common in the classrooms, teacher delivering a lecture. So, if the teacher is making the students to engage in some kind of a dialogue between the teacher, then this is interaction between the students and teacher. The third is student-student interaction. When the teachers give some activities to the students, they themselves engage in the activities. So, that gives a chance for students to interact. These are the major types of interaction which happens in the classroom. Now, how we can promote this interaction, the various kinds of interaction, whether it is with the learning materials, students and teacher or student-student interaction. So, this is what we are going to discuss next and this will be the focus of this video lecture. When we are talking about the factors which contributes, which promotes, which enhances the various types of interactions, GBAD has given some suggestions. The first point is he discusses about reducing the central position of the teacher. As we all are aware, and as I already hinted, one of the most popular methods of teaching is the lecture method. The teacher is engaged in continuously providing information. So, teacher is the major player there, we can say. Students just receive whatever the teacher is explaining. So, if you want to promote interactivity, if you want to enhance interactivity, this role has to be reversed. Let the teacher give only the basic information, give some what we say hints for discussions, guide them. Then the teachers will be the major players in the teaching learning activity. They will be engaged in discussions, they will be asking questioning the teacher, they will be interacting among each other. So, the first point is we have to reduce the central position of the teacher. Second is appreciate the uniqueness of individuals. Whenever we are going to the classroom as a teacher for teaching, we need to think of the uniqueness of the individuals, uniqueness of the students. All the students are different from each other, physically, mentally, their social development, everything is different from one another. So, when the teacher plans something in the classroom, the teacher should take care of the uniqueness of the students. This is the second point. Third, provide chances for students to express themselves in meaningful ways. If lecture method is commonly used, it does not give much space or scope for the students to engage in discussions. But of course, there are exceptional cases. Some teachers, they also effectively use lecture method engaging the students in the teaching learning activity. So, the teacher should give scope and space for students to express their feelings, their ideas, their suggestions, comments. Only the teacher can do this. Now, the fourth point is give opportunities for students to negotiate meaning with each other and with the teacher. This is also possible. It is not just like giving information. Let the teacher give some time for the students, let them also give their comments and reach at a consensus. This is also possible when we are giving some activities to the students. They themselves discuss, they come out with some kind of a suggestion. If it is a project work, they themselves discuss, then they will complete and come out with a final product as the end result of the project work. Now, the fifth one is give students choices as to what they want to say, to whom they want to say and how they want to say it. Very simple, give enough space, time, scope for the students to express themselves, whatever the topic be. So, when we do or when we follow all these points in mind, definitely the classrooms are going to be more interactive. So, friends, we can take these are some of the very important points which the teachers need to keep in mind if they are planning to make their classroom communication, teaching, learning activities more interactive. Now, let us discuss about, since our course is talking more about technology use in the teaching learning activities, we have already covered some of the points which we need to take care of. One of the important factors is the use of technologies. Why? Because now, irrespective of the mode of the teaching or mode of education, technologies are used in a big way. So, as far as possible, technologies have to be used which would help the students to interact frequently. And this is very common when we use the WhatsApp. All of us are very much aware about that. When there is a topic posted in the WhatsApp, people keep on commenting, responding to that. Very simple example. There are a number of technologies which can be used for this purpose. So, use of technologies is one of the factors, maybe we can say one of the important factors which would help the teachers to enhance, promote interactive culture among the students. When we are talking about the use of technology, then there are a couple of points which we need to keep in mind. It's not just bringing in any technology to the classroom. This is not like that. We also need to plan, prepare and execute. Then only the proper interaction will happen among the students. Now, if you are thinking of using technology and planning to teach a content by bringing in interactivity, then couple of points like the access to technology is one such point. We need to make sure that the students have access to technology. Technology in the sense both digital devices and application softwares. Say for example, if you have prepared a video program with using a particular software, this sometimes may not be working in the student's digital device. It can be the mobile or laptop or tablet. So there has to have some match between the softwares used. Then the access is also very important. The students need to have the digital devices, otherwise there is no point. So this is one thing. Make sure that the digital devices and the application softwares which we are going to use is accessible and available at the students' end. The second point we can say content. Say for example, if you are posting a text material, we are giving a text material. This will not bring much interactivity unless and until this is prepared in some kind of a format or way where the interactive elements are added to that. Otherwise, it's just like reading a newspaper. So whenever you prepare the content, reading content, if it is open and distance learning, the text material, prepare in such a way that you try to include interactive elements like videos, audios, some animations, open education resources, all those can be put into the text material. So this enhances, when they read this, enhances the interactivity. Engagement, they should get some scope for engagement also. Say for example, if you are adding some discussion forum questions in between in the text material or video program. So once they reach at that particular point, they will be directed to, the students have to look for the discussion forum question, then the interaction will take place there, communication will be taking place there. The third point, collaboration is also very important. We should give some scope for students to engage in the discussion. They need to get some scope to work collaboratively. Say for example, some projects. As a teacher, you can give maybe some project and let them prepare the report of that. So one student may be preparing the introduction part, the other student may be the second chapter, the third chapter. So collaboratively they will work on project and preparing the text material. When they are preparing the text material, of course they have to use the technologies. So when you are using this kind of technologies, or when we are using technologies for promoting the interactivity, we need to keep in mind all these points. When we talk about technologies, I would also like to remind you, technologies are not limited to the softwares. Technologies include both the digital devices and application softwares. Technologies like computer, tablet, television, mobile phones, LCD projectors, smart boards, many are there. Smart boards are also now common in many of the classrooms. In the classrooms, we can see a whiteboard which have the facility to interact. Very beautiful. So wherever possible, teachers should design their teaching lessons in such a way that students get an opportunity to interact with the whiteboards we are using. This can be done in varied ways. So these are some of the technologies which we need to keep in mind. So think of how we can use such technologies in the classroom. Now technologies, as I said, it also includes application software. Say for example, the SMS or instant messaging, very popular. Mail also we can use for communicating. blogs, websites. Many of the websites have such facilities for chatting with the students. So, you post a topic, let the students come and discuss. If you have a personal website, this is very much possible. Social media platforms, we all are very much aware about the Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube. All those have facilities to get in discussions. Learning management systems, online groups and discussion forum, very popular. Most of the online courses and MOOC programs, they make use of the discussion forum. Even we have discussion forum in this course. Sometimes you will find questions. So, it is for discussions. Then quick response codes, we can use digital resource repositories, various digital repositories. Say for example, I am preparing a self-learning material for my students, text material. I will write one paragraph. In the second paragraph, I will ask my students to visit a particular digital resource repository. So, they will be directed to that place, and that place maybe it can have a live chat session between experts. It can be a YouTube video. In YouTube videos also we can see interactive elements. So, this is possible in various ways. Then different teaching learning apps, different electronic content, e-content, nothing but they are also digital teaching learning resources. The other important technology is the audio video conferences, possible through radios, telecommunication services, which is the teleconference. The teachers will be sitting at the studio, students will be at the other end, they can be at various places, and there is a constant interaction between the teacher and students possible. Podcast also. So, these are some of the, maybe we can say, application softwares. All these have application softwares which we can use in our teaching learning processes, classrooms. Now, when we talk about the use of technologies, we have already discussed about the content which goes inside in the technology medium. We have to be very careful, we have to prepare content in such a way that it should give some scope for engaging the students. And how this is possible? So, when we are preparing, say for example, a text material, it can be for both the different types of modes of education, different modes of education. We are preparing a text material for our students. When we prepare the text material, it should not be crowded with text material alone. You can include videos, pictures, graphics, audio programs, figures, graphs, charts, hyperlinks, cross-referencing we can do. There are many things which we can include in a text material. It's not just like a text material putting in that document. Try to include all these kinds of extra elements so that it will help to get in a serious kind of deep reading, and interactivity also that way is enhanced. You can also include reality based scenarios, quizzes also, puzzles, brain teasers, all those can be included. So, these are some of the points which we need to keep in mind when we are preparing any reading material, text material. So, friends, with this we are winding up this video lecture. We had discussed the ways which would help us to enhance or promote interactivity among the students, and in detail we have discussed about the use of technologies for enhancing, promoting interactivity, and the points we need to keep in mind if you are using technology for promoting interactivity. I hope you have understood the concepts that we have discussed in this video lecture. Thank you.